Welcome back to the bench, and today I've got my friend's SC Monroe amplifier. I didn't know SC built amplifiers. It says there's a problem with turning it on. Power switch feels okay. And apparently another tech has been in here before and designed a soft start system to stop the thud coming out of the speakers. So I have no idea what we're going to find in here. It seems to have two inputs, main and aux, with a volume for each input, and then hard or soft, whatever that means. I'll have to read the manual, I guess. I don't know much about these apart from the fact that they do have LEDs in the speakers. So there's an LED switch. I don't know how they're injecting that. Maybe they're using a pair of the poles, because these speakers are normally 4-pole. We'll see when we have a look inside. And you've got the main input balanced, or the aux input, and some tone controls, which is quite cool. So let's take the top off and see what's underneath. Now we can see what we're dealing with here, and I can see this PCB looks like it's been added. Looks like a Velleman project board, and seems to connect to the PCBs over there via these relays. So I expect this is to help the soft start. So we'll have to look at that later. In fact, looking at it, there's definitely not speaker outputs it's connected to it. And here we have what looks like a pair of off-the-shelf amplifier chips, which look like they're stereo each. So I expect that the speakers are bi-wired. And if we have a look at the connectors, it looks like they're using a black common earth. So I really don't think this is maybe not the project I was thinking of. I'll have to do some research on that. So power comes in here through a nice transformer, and then the AC goes to the switch and back via these fuses, and then from the fuses back onto the main board. And we have two bridge rectifiers, so it looks like they're powering the left and right side independently. And there's also another bridge rectifier here, so that looks like it's powering the headphone circuit. So that's all looking good. So I think I'm going to have to just do a little bit more research, see if I can find out anything about this PCB here. Okay, so this actually does look very, very similar to the K4780 Velleman project. An LM4780 stereo 60 watts. You can wire them up to mono for 120 watts. And they do have a mute switch. So there's two sets of wires. One's labelled 35 volts. Is that? Can I? So I'm wondering whether this was an original kind of soft mute, which the Velleman I think adds 6 seconds to the wait time. So I guess we'll just plug it in, see what happens. That's a pretty cool idea, just tapping into the existing mute lines and just adding 6-second delay. So I've made sure that feels like it's switched off. Oh. So this is permanently live. And you can see we're pulling 31 watts. I heard some relays click. Might have to do that again. Well, the power amps seem to be warming up. There seems to be power everywhere. I haven't switched it on yet though. And if I switch it on, nothing seems to make any difference. So let's just confirm we are dealing with the mute channel here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so that signal is going to that chip. I'm not quite sure why all this happens when the power switch is off at the front. Maybe the power switch is faulty. So if I scope what looks like the trace going to the mute and plug it in, we can see the light come on, and then we have, it drops down to 3.6 volts. Like if I got my earth clip on there, so on the speaker, the black wire is earth, so I'm presuming they're using a common earth for each speaker driver, and then the red and the yellow drive the speaker, and there's this thinner cable which I presume is for the LED. I'm surprised this activates when the power switch is off. And I'm on aux input, nothing on the output. Oh, I get a clip. Is that a clip light? Should this be illuminated? So I really need to get this main switch sorted out. It's definitely not safe playing around with the broken main switch. In fact, I didn't really get it on camera, but I took it apart, and as I took it apart, loads of bits had fallen out, and there's bits of broken plastic. So I thought I'd contact Munro Acoustics on the off chance, and a nice chap called Phil, who was on the R&D department, couldn't give me the part number, but sent me to Sedgwell, who were the last people to make this amplifier. And a nice chap from there put me onto this illuminated switch, which is resettable. Turns out this is a momentary, and also that the LED I think is 24 volts, so it needs to be 240 volts. But it's quite interesting to see a company like Sedgwell, because I myself have designed what I call the 82 Moons, which is a project based on the Korg New Tube. This is a dual channel device, so I had 2 channels with some nice saturation, and also you can flick it into mid side, and then this becomes the mids, and this becomes the size controls, and it's really extreme. You can completely destroy your mixes if you're not careful, but a really fun device. You can even link one to the output to the input of the next channel to get even more distortion. So the next bit of video is me installing the momentary switch. So it's much easier if you remove the front plate. You can get plenty of access, and then that was actually quite easy to get out. Well, that didn't go very well. This momentary switch was not the correct one, and as you can see I have to hold it down for the power to stay on. And also the blue ring, I saw it light up once, never to be seen again, because I think it's actually a 24 volt LED in that switch. So I've got this quite expensive £30 one. in the end I've opted to solder those wires in instead of using those screws. One of the heads came off. They're just really crappy screws, so they're all soldered in now. Okay, I'm much happier that's all soldered up and I've cable tied it nicely. So this can go back to the owner, and we'll make sure that it works okay. And if you're watching this video, it worked okay. Catch you next time.